Battle of Issus, 333 BC. Alexander the Great versus the Persian Empire. Introduction. In 333 BC, on a narrow coastal plain in what is now southern Turkey, one of history's most legendary confrontations unfolded. A young Macedonian king, only 23 years old, faced the might of the largest empire the world had ever known. His name was Alexander of Macedon. His enemy, Darius III, the great king of Persia. What followed would not only decide the fate of two rulers, but reshape the ancient world forever. This was the Battle of Issus, the rise of a conqueror. After the assassination of his father, King Philip II, Alexander inherited the Macedonian throne in 336 BC. Many believed the young king would fail. Instead, he crushed rebellions, secured Greece, and turned his gaze eastward. His goal was bold and dangerous, to conquer the Persian Empire. In 334 BC, Alexander crossed into Asia Minor with an army of around 40,000 men. He defeated Persian satraps at the Battle of the Granicus, then swept through Anatolia, freeing Greek cities and cutting Persian supply lines. By 333 BC, Alexander was no longer just a king. He was a rising legend. Darius enters the war. The Persian king Darius III could no longer ignore the threat. Unlike earlier skirmishes, he personally took command of an enormous army, possibly 100,000 men or more. His force included Persian infantry and cavalry, Greek mercenaries, elite royal guards, scythed chariots intended to crush Alexander with overwhelming numbers. But numbers alone do not win wars. The battlefield of Issus. The two armies met near the town of Issus, along a narrow strip of land between the mountains and the Mediterranean Sea. This location proved critical. Darius's massive army could not deploy its full strength. The terrain forced him into a cramped formation, neutralizing his greatest advantage, his numbers. Alexander immediately saw opportunity. Armies and strategies. Alexander's forces, 40,000 soldiers, highly disciplined Macedonian phalanx, elite companion cavalry, expert tactical coordination. Darius's forces, possibly 100,000 plus, Greek mercenaries in the center, massive cavalry wings, royal guard protecting the king. Darius positioned himself in the center, believing this would inspire his men. Alexander did the opposite. He placed himself on the right flank, leading the charge personally. The battle begins. The Persian army advanced first, crossing the Pinaris River. Their Greek mercenaries smashed into Alexander's phalanx, creating chaos in the center. For a moment it looked like Persia might break through, but Alexander had a plan. He formed a wedge with his companion cavalry and led a ferocious charge directly toward the Persian center, toward Darius himself. Alexander's decisive strike. Alexander didn't aim to destroy the Persian army. He aimed to break its heart. His cavalry smashed through Persian lines, cutting a path toward Darius's chariot. The Macedonian king fought at the front, risking his life. As Alexander drew closer, chaos erupted around Darius. Then something incredible happened. Darius turned his chariot and fled. The collapse of Persia. The moment their king fled, Persian morale shattered. What had been a massive army dissolved into panic. Thousands threw down their weapons. Others were cut down as they tried to escape. The battlefield turned into a slaughter. Meanwhile, Alexander's troops routed the Persian wings and surrounded the remaining forces. The victory was total. Spoils of victory. In the aftermath, Alexander captured Darius's royal camp, massive treasure, Darius's mother, wife, and children. Instead of harming them, Alexander treated the royal family with honor and respect, an act that shocked the ancient world and boosted his reputation as a noble conqueror. Darius sent letters offering peace, land, and ransom. Alexander refused. He wanted everything. Why the Battle of Issus matters. The Battle of Issus was more than just a military victory. It proved Alexander could defeat Persia in direct battle. Darius was not invincible. Macedonian tactics were superior. Alexander was destined for greatness. After Issus, cities began surrendering without a fight. Persia's grip on the Mediterranean began to collapse. The road to Egypt, Babylon, and eventually India now lay open. Legacy. Though Darius would fight again, he would never recover from the humiliation of Issus. Alexander would go on to conquer the Persian Empire completely, becoming ruler of the largest empire the ancient world had ever seen. All of it began here, on a narrow strip of land with a fearless charge at Issus.